Hello everybody, okay, I am ready now. Welcome to MIDE Show 2024. My name is Ipah Lynn. I'm a pedal scuba instructor, a mom of 6 kids, a professional underwater photographer, a Marlux ambassador, and Canon ambassador. So today, I know a lot of you came by to actually listen to my talk regarding creative photography back to basic. Am I right? So this is what we're going to do. Before I start, I'm going to show you a small video because it's World Oceans Day. Now, I show, negative images, positive images, but today's is a little bit on the negative side because I need you to show what is actually going down inside the water right now. So this is what's going to happen.
Today marks the day where it's one of the saddest dives I've ever had because I was in shock when I saw the corals down in Malaysia was being affected by
this was taken a couple of weeks ago, and this is actually what is happening inside our ocean in Asia, in Malaysia itself.
Now the water temperature
really
now is
sad.
31 degrees and there's not much that we can do. On World Oceans Day, I hope that we will learn our lesson not to leave any carbon footprint behind, because this is the devastating effect that you can see that's inside the water. And let's try our best, to fix whatever that we did and be better humans.
Okay, so you have seen what has happened to our oceans behind, right? The coral bleaching is so bad. Now, how is this caused? It's because of our carbon footprint. So from now on, when you go inside the water, I want you, if possible, try not to leave anything behind. Try and protect our ocean, because without the ocean, none of you are divers. So always remember that. So now let's get back to the show that I'm doing right now, which is creative photography back to basics. So before I start, usually I always tell people, now great things never come from comfort zone. So what does comfort zone means? That means when you want to be better than other people as photographer, you want to be different, you have to step out from your comfort zone. Because when you step out from your comfort zone, then you become 10 steps ahead from the rest. So always remember that. Number 1. When you start creative photography, I want you to forget normal pictures. So what is normal pictures? Pictures that you see in ID books, the nudie books, the shrimp books, basically all the books. It's always an ID shot taken from the side. Those are what I call normal pictures. Now, what are, crazy creative pictures? Crazy creative pictures are pictures like, like this one, the octopus zooming to the other side. It's a storytelling types of pictures. So I want you from now on to try different combinations when you actually start taking photography underwater in a creative way. So you need to create your own design. This is how important it is. Next, let your creativity go with the flow. Now, there are days when you play inside the water, today I want something behind. I want this to be like so beautiful. I want rainbow behind. Then you go in, the current starts. Then you go in, oh my God, I have 10 divers behind shooting the same thing. What am I going to do? I got to work very, very quickly. Now, this is where the best part comes in. From now on, I want you to go and look for simple stuff. You know why? Nobody shoots simple stuff. But when you shoot simple stuff and give it that wow factor, trust me, it's going to be a great image. Number 2, colors are nice. I know that all of you, when you actually start photography, everybody, I want black background. You know why? Because everything all popped there. The image very, very nice. But the thing is, black is black. Look at me, I'm black. But I have red, contra. But inside a picture is more beautiful when you actually have colors behind. Because colors are your friends. So make them your priority from now on. This is important. This is a debate that every diver always have. Now, editing tools, Lightroom, Photoshop, AI, whatever that you want, as long as it makes the picture nice and people like it, it's okay. But Remember not to harm the animals, okay? You can have the nudie having whatever you want on top, Christmas hat, whatever with AI, but make sure, number one rule, do not harm the creatures inside. Because if I do see you inside the water, the tank bagger is on my hand already. Ding, 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 no touching. So from now on, your editing tools are your best friends. Because these are the stuff that makes pictures look really nice. Especially on days when you don't get good pictures, it's still salvageable to actually make good pictures. Images. Look at that. Ooh, the shrimp. Okay. Anybody from the crowd, how small do you think the skeletal shrimp is? Raise of hand. Okay. Sir. Exactly. Okay. A skeletal shrimp, an adult size, is about 2 millimeter in size. Can you imagine 2 mm? We're a big guy. They're a small guy. But yet, I managed to capture a shot of a 2 millimeter skeletal shrimp eating an amphiphod. How ridiculously is that? But these are what cameras can do from, the new cameras can do. So with this image, it's a storytelling type of pictures. Now, when you start shooting from now, I want you to have storytelling, because storytelling is very, very important. Storytelling is what pulls viewers to always watch your pictures. These are very, very nice images to see. So when I say images say more than 1,000 words, eyes are the windows of your soul. When you start shooting critters from now on, or any subjects, look for the eyes. Now, I know you're going to say, hey, Nudi don't have eyes. Yeah, they don't have eyes. But the rhinoceros are their eyes. So focus on that one. Because we as human, when we want to have contact with anybody, we always want to have eye contact. We want to eye contact. Oh, very nice. Okay, I understand you understand me. Same thing as critters. In the world of wildlife, animals will tend to look for eye contact together with us. Like if you have dogs or cats, it's the same way. They're always looking for eye contact. Same as the small animals inside the water. So remember that. Simple images. Woo! Okay, the harlequin. Now, what fish is this? Harlequin sweet lips. Am I right? Is that it? Am I right or wrong? I'm not very sure. Okay. So this fish, basically, you can find everywhere. But look at it, this was accidental. I took off my macro lens, put it aside. I'm like, hey, this fish likes to look at itself inside the mirror. And it turned out to be a great photo. You know why? Because it's admiring itself. Storytelling. Number 4, get inspired. Now, how do you get inspired? For me, when I wanted to get inspired many, many years ago, I had really good mentors, like Tim Ho, like Eric Goes. They did crazy images. They're so beautiful. I stalk them. So there is no shame in stalking. So if you want to improve your images, I want you from now on, stalk the famous people on social media to see what trends they are doing. From that trend, try to follow that trend. And when you have that trend, try to make your own design. Try to make your own step. These are the things that will always make it, make yourself stand up from the rest of everybody else. So from now on, I want you to think big. Now, then I want you to think bold, like bold colors. And I want you to think, wowzer, this is the image I want. This is the image where I want people to go and see and I want that image. I want to follow that image. So, when you go back home right now, study the image and say nudi 3%, they call it. Lots of nudies, right? I want to make my picture different from somebody else. How should I do now? How should I do that? Now, this is where I come in. The moment that you have been waiting for. How to create. How to use the tools that you have to start creative photography. How to imagine the image I want, and what type of tools do I need to master the art of creative photography. Because creative photography can be done by many ways, but with certain aids, it can make your picture look so much more better. So this is the secrets and tips that I'm going to give you for you to understand how to make creative photography. Tak keluar, lambat. But before that, let's understand what creative means. Let's see. Sorry about that. So what is creative photography? Creative is something that only you can create. And when you can create, you are the one that is actually leaving a footprint, your own style. This is very, very important. It comes from within you, from inside of you. That means the passions of taking your underwater photography. It's all the techniques that you have learned and combined. And I will tell you what the techniques are. Put together in one picture, one moment, one image. So all these techniques combined, when you learn and you apply it on the picture that you have, it's going to be a wow factor. So what are the techniques that you need to do in order to actually do creative photography? Number one, you have to master the art of black background photography. What is that? Okay, I will tell you slightly later. So we will learn the black background, the bokeh or bokeh, the snooted way. It's not coming out. Sekejap, and the colored techniques. These are very, very important. So what is the black background? So black background technique usually is this. It's mastering the details of the details and sharpness for an image. Now, before you start shooting any images, you have to learn, even in the normal way, how to make your images sharp, crisp, detailed. Then from there, you move on to what we call the bokeh, where sometimes you have a very ugly background. You know, sometimes broken coral, or you know, things that you don't like, that's not very flattering to the eye, but you want to hide it. So you have to learn how to do the bokeh effect by opening up your aperture to 2.8. It's really, really bright, but it does create amazing images on that. Next, you have to learn the snooting technique. Where is it? The snooted way. Now, snooted way is the easiest. Do you know why? When you start doing snooting photography, it's the most not expensive ever, because all you need is just one camera and one snoot torch. So it saves your pocket a lot. And if you can master this just simple technique, you can get the rest. The next is the colored technique. What is colored technique? Colored technique is something that, you know, you want a little bit of colors, wow, the jazz, the pizzazz, whatever you call it. But you take all your colored torches, blend it together in an unnatural way, and you get images like this. Like this one, this is pretty good, right? But it really, really works well when something is transparent. So, with all those techniques combined, the black background, the bokeh, the snooted photography, and the colored techniques, this is the kind of images that you get. An aurora. Everybody takes Shaun the Sheep the same way, but can you get an aurora behind it? How do you do it? You do it by blending the colors inside. So you get that. But how do you get that more? You have to learn how to snoot, because, you know, Shaun the Sheep is not purple in color. He or she is green. So you still need one snoot torch, you know, to make him light up and, you know, be covered with auroras. These are the things. So all that technique combined, this is what you get. Before you start, usually when I do classes, I always tell people, when you are at a subject where there is 10 people behind you, you have to work very, very fast. I always tell people, why not learn, you know, a little bit of being a spotter by yourself. Learn from the guides, because when you do that, you get to shoot it by yourself without other people actually disturbing you. This is the nice part when you actually learn about habitats. So what I do is, when I start shooting and I know that, hey, today I want to go creative, hey, today I want to go color, what do? I look at the subject. Next, I look at the surrounding of the subject. Now, what do I mean by surrounding of the subject? I look at the patterns, because some patterns are very beautifully combined with the subject, especially at the house where they are staying. Look at it properly, you see that, and you can do a lot with it. Next, look for colors that complement the subject. Not all colors go well together. Always remember that. Some colors will destroy pictures, but there are some colors who would make the subject so magnificent. Now let's go back to basic lighting. I'm going to show you a shortcut in a short while, for lazy divers who does not want to learn manual program. So I'm going to show you a shortcut on how you can use in any type of camera in order for you to achieve those images, especially with the snoot. Now, this is a color chart. This is very, very important. From now on, before you start creative photography, you want to play with the colors, look at the color charts. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's just say you found a yellow lemon gobi. It's yellow color. So what goes with yellow? Purple, a little bit of blue, a little bit of magenta, all that. So those three colors combine. Now, if you have suddenly yellow and then suddenly it goes green, it's going to blend in together and the subject is not going to appear. This is important. A lot of people don't understand is when you shoot, colors are secondary. But who is the primary subject? The shrimp, the nudies, and whatever that's alive down there you're shooting. This is important. Make the subject number 1. Make the colors priority number 2. So go home, find this chart, and start learning about colors. This is very important. Now, this is how I actually snoot inside the water. Can you see? I use 3 torches, basically. 2 colored, 1 snoot. The way I do it is, 1, composition, proximity, how far you are from the subject, and rule of third. Rule of third is very important because you want to know where to place the animal. Snoot from here, and you get that kind of images, a blurry images. How do I do that? I opened up my aperture, make sure my hands are very steady, and you get this nice blurred bokeh behind. Composition, ooh! Now a lot of people always ask me, Ipah, how composition? Composition very, very hard. Actually, it's very simple. All of you have cameras, right? You have cameras, and inside your camera, there is something called the grid line. Switch it on. From now on, switch it on. Because when you switch it on, you know where to place your subjects. Example, this one up there, rule of thirds. You see the 4 dots? That's where you place your subject. Anything between there, because storytelling, very, very important. Then you have the golden spiral, the diagonal. The rest of the 3 below, if you get it, you're very lucky. But usually, these are the 3 ones that we always use. Rule of thirds, golden spiral, diagonal. Because why? We're in the freaking water. Sometimes the currents can get so hard, it's going to push you away. You got no choice. So you got to work with the moment. So here's the video for lazy divers who does not want to learn manual and who wants to learn the fastest way to do a snooting photography. Turn it to PE program. You know why? The camera is going to control everything. The only thing that you're going to control is the exposure button. 0, 0, -1, -2, -3. These are the ones. So I will show you how. Watch this. If you have a handphone, take a shot at it. So as you can see here, many years ago, before I had this set up, I was actually using the Canon G15. Can you imagine a compact camera? The autofocus was so slow, but yet I managed to get the kind of images I wanted the same way as SLR. But I found a shortcut in doing it. I turned everything to P because you have to work very, very hard inside the water. You know, you're moving, the currents are moving, the guides are calling you. There's so much stuff around. So this is what I did. I placed all the colored lights. I made sure there's 2. Now, do you see the snoot? Where is it placed? Right in front of the nudie. Why? Because you do not want the nudie to be the same color as all your torches. You know, if you get green and then you get blue, you're going to get what? Purple, am I right? You don't have purple nudies that is actually supposed to be white. So the snoot torch, what it does, it brings out the light from the subject. So snooting is very, very important. Now when you see there, I start using exposure 0. Now it's back to 1. You can see that every time the exposure goes down, the images become sharper and clearer. But it does not happen in all dives. You have to figure out how. The deeper you are inside the water, the better it is. Now you go to -2, and then you see what the image looks like now. Not so nice, still over bright, right? Still overexposed. But when you shoot it, look at that. It came out slightly sharper. Then when you play -3, or whichever that your camera allows you to do, exposure 2, exposure 3, you see that the image becomes darker, crisper, sharper, more dramatic. This is what they want. This is what people want. So when you have a snoot torch like this, it's going to make your life so much more easier inside the water. Simple enough. So what program that, what feature that you have to change it to? P, if you're a lazy diver. Okay, so now let's use items, okay? What do I mean by items? Ooh, the CD. Now, about 9 years ago, I was actually diving in Bali, right? With a guide named Semi Kaunang. I think most of you know him. So we were both diving, we were both shooting, and suddenly I was shooting this razor shrimp or something. I can't remember what it was. And there was something flickering behind, and the color was like so unnatural. So I looked at it and I go like, apa benda ni kat belakang ni? And I looked and I was like, broken piece of CD. Now, for all you young millennials that does not know what a CD is, a CD is something that long ago, when we could not download it, pirated movies, we were watching it on a disc. So now that disc basically is everywhere inside the water. I don't know why people throw inside the water, but it's sad. But because people threw it inside the water, I managed to find like, I found something different. I don't think anybody has ever done this. So you know what I did? Your focus light. Ooh, I didn't even have to use strobes that time. When I actually had my focus light, I had my CD, I reflected on the CD. You know what happened? It created a very beautiful prismatic color, like woo, rainbow going on like this, you know? And at every angle pointed, no matter 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, the color is going to change. So what happens when color changes? Nobody can copy your picture. You know why? Every millimeter. How impossible is that? It's just impossible. So what happened is when you do that, even though I have 2 students, or my husband next to me, where is he? Shooting the same thing, this is what's going to happen. Creating different type of images for everyone, no 2 pictures are the same. Even though it's at the same place, but because the light is moved in a different way, the camera is capturing that color. This is what happens. 2 blended colors, but 2 different colors. This type of pictures, when people cannot mimic, that means you are an artist. It's not easy to actually mimic this kind of colors. Now, this is very, very important. A lot of people do not understand, like, okay lah. How close am I supposed to put the stuff behind the subject? Simple. This one is tip and tricks of what people usually never tell you, but I'm going to tell you today, okay? Now, let's just say you have a subject in front here. This is a subject, right? Okay. Now, the subject color is white. Am I right? Now, white is a very difficult color to shoot because it's bland. Putih mah, bukannya cantik sangat pun. But because you want to have like, ooh, you know, you want to make the subject pop, you have to have a color that is contrast to the subject. This is important. So, let's just say like this. Subject, item. What's going to happen to that? The color is going to become stronger, okay? Now, if you have, let's just say, okay, Cyrus nigra. Most of you know the butterfly nudie, right? Beautiful, yellow, look like Tutankhamun crown. It's really, the contrast itself is already very nice. What do? What kind of colors do you put behind so it will not pull you away from the subject? You need a softer color. So what do? The things that you have, the things that you use, you pull it further behind. So you have a nice blend of soft color. So how to create the effects? Ooh, this is my favorite. Okay. Most of you back home, you have kids, you have nephew, you have nieces, and they throw away, what's this called thing? Bedazzle, whatever lah, all this benda-benda yang, you know, people doing for sewing. Do you know what I did? I took super glue, I started sticking on my CD, turn it into a lollipop. Because I figured out like, colors are nice. but I need textures behind, to make it a little bit more different from the rest. So I started to DIY project by myself, did it over there, turn it into a lollipop with a satay stick, boop, behind. But it does not harm the subject. You know why? Because it's behind. This is important. Please, everybody, when you start doing creative photography, you will tangan gatal, want to actually start moving things, especially the subject, so you can get a great picture. But if possible, try to work with the subject. Try to not disturb it, Find space. If you think you cannot shoot that because you don't have space, move on to another subject. Filters. Now, filters are the rave right now. Now, a lot of people are asking me, Ipah, filter tu apa? Alah, you all use Instagram. Everybody want to look flawless. Filter lah tu, the same thing. So, inside the water is the same thing. We use filters. Except that we use filters that can attach to your housing in front. So, what are the type of filters that you can use to make it more creative? I'm going to show you a few. These are my secrets. The choking filter, wow. Choking filters, if you put that, if your camera cannot do any apertures, it's just stuck at that one, you can use this filter to blur the side there. So these are for people who cannot control aperture inside your camera, the choking filter is good. Next is the crystal ball filter, woo! Wow, suddenly I feel like a gypsy lady already lah. Okay, the crystal ball filter is really nice. If it's at an item, a subject that is big in size. If it's small, it doesn't blend so well. So you have to plan on how to do it. Now, my next best filter that I love to use, the vortex filter. This is my favorite filter. Do you know why? When I have sand behind, and sand is all white, and I have coral bleaching right now, and the coral is not so nice, I just want to hide it. So what do? I use a filter to blur the side out, but at the same time, the textures will blend in together, creating a very weird effect like this. Can you see that? So the filters are important. And the best thing is, it's cheap. You can find it at Shopee, Lazada, 20 ringgit only. Okay? Find the link. Okay, what's next? All right, magic light tube. Now, you've seen a lot of pictures inside where there's a circle, color. Actually, very, very easy. All you have to do is go to DIY shop, get a pipe, get a silver pipe, something that's reflecting, put it in front of your camera. Oop, what happened? And you get images like this. Sorry. Images like this. Tak ada. Sekejap, Okay. Sangkut. Magic light tube. Okay, you get images like this. So, number one, before you start, actually shooting all animals. And I want you to make a pledge from now on to not harm the animals. Number one, please don't harm the animals. Animals are friends. They're not food. They're not things for you to move around. So this is very, very important. Number two, you work with the subject, not the subject will with you. Once you start respecting animals inside the water, trust me, they're going to let them shoot you. Most of my winning images are images where I do not disturb the habitats of the animal. I stay with the animal for a very long time and let the subject get used to me, than me getting used to the subject. This is important. Plan the colors. Colors are important. If you do the wrong colors on wrong subject, the picture is going to be bland. And if you are about to enter the competition, these are the things that judges see. Contrast. If you do not have contrast inside any images, chances are it's going to be moved to the next pile. Try to work at every angle. Now, certain animals, like the goby, so plain, right? You see goby with eggs. But look at that. From here, when you look from far, does it look like a freaking frogfish? It does, right? Like a mouth is opening up. It looks like a frogfish. But actually, it's not a frogfish. Do you know what it is? It's just a sea pen with a goby aligned just nicely, and he made it look as if the eyes of a frogfish, but it's actually not. So illusions are very, very important. Minimum light is used. Now, why do I tell that? Okay. When I go down inside the water, I see so many people using such a bright torch. Now, I want you to put yourself inside their place. Let's just say I'm going to the beach, and on that day, it is so hot, right? What's the first thing you do? You don't stay under the sun, you run away, right? right? That's what you do. Same thing as animal. Imagine the snoot is the sun. And the nudie is sunbathing at that moment. What's going to happen? The nudie is going to run. You know why? It doesn't want to be burned. We stay under the sun also, we get sunburned, we run away already. Same thing as animal. So how do you do? How do you make them stay? By using minimal light. Number 7, patience. Ooh, I know you new divers. Every time go inside the water, I want 10 subject. I want to shoot every subject inside there. And then after that, you go up. Hey, why my picture not nice? Because you don't have patience. Patience is so important. When I shoot pictures, I shoot maybe about 2 or 3 subjects in a 1 hour dive. That's how I manage to capture crazy images. Because when you give them time, you tend to see what they do and you capture that moment inside an image. So patience is key. Okay? No more 10 subject, 1 dive, 20 subject, 1 dive. Don't stress your guide. They are also very, very human. All right, what's next? What kind of tools do I need to get started now? These are the things that people ask me, Ipah, I want to start creative photography or some sort of photography. What do I need inside there? I'm going to show you. Hold on. The toys. You see the flying money? This is what's going to happen to you. Confirm for sure a hole inside the pocket. But these are the stuff that you need when you actually start, creative photography. But the most basic that you need, snoot torch, much cheaper version. Maybe filters, 20 ringgit only, Lazada, Shopee. DIY stuff, grab whatever that your kids have or your nephew has or nieces has, start, doing your own creative way. But this is the stuff you need. Macro lens is important because you know why? Not everything is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter in size. There are some things, like the sculptor shrimp, is 2 millimeter. That's ridiculous, that's really small. So when you need small stuff, you do need macro lenses. And there are a lot of macro lenses down here today that you can grab at a very special offer. I went around, I'm like, ooh, I want to buy every one of them because all of them are good. So now let me show you pictures, ideas, or what maybe you can do to make your pictures better than mine. Agreed? From now on, when you go back home, I want your pictures to be better than mine. Please surpass me so I can retire and let all of you do the diving. Agreed? Okay, number 1, the picture. Ooh, moray eel. You know, moray eels, everybody gets inside the water, but what did I do? It's just 2 moray eel with sand, not so nice. I use spectral art software, where suddenly, whoa, firework come out from the sand. So it created a creative image. Ooh, Stillingonators. How is this created? It looks like Aladdin, doesn't it? Right? It's like riding on a magic carpet. Okay, this one's simple. Metallic DIY, using DIY metallic tubes. DIY, 10 ringgit only, very, very cheap. Use that one, you can get this kind of images. Set goby. Okay, everybody's favorite goby. All right. Now, a lot of people never notice the goby. Do you know that gobies have freckles? Look at that. Macam kena ada blusher kat situ. But they're actually very beautiful from the side. Okay, moving on. So, okay, I think I have like 5 or 6 minutes left. Just give me a minute. I'm going to go run through the pictures. So you have the yellow goby. These are ideas. The frogfish. Ooh, the panning. Panning, you need full manual to do this, but look at that, nice flow. Bubble bouquets are your friends. If you have backscatter, don't be afraid, because it turns into nice bubble bouquet. Mantis shrimp, remember the lollipop I have behind? This is what I use. I planned this shot for a long time, because I knew this is what the color of the shrimp was, and I got a very beautiful color. So the images you see today are the images that I have won internationally in many places. So these are the type of photography that you must surpass me to be better. Cyrus nigra, which you can find now in Lumah Selatan, is basically everywhere. Using the CD further behind, so it actually does not, tenggelamkan subject tu. The baboon, okay. This one, a lot of people ask me how to do. Let me see. Oh no, hold on, just give me a minute. Slow lah benda ni. Never mind. Okay, never mind. I'll go to the natural habitat. Wow, they're chasing me off the stage very quickly. Okay, natural habitat. When you do not want to be one of those people that look like a Christmas tree inside the water with lots of, colored torch hanging beside you, CDs over here, lenses over here, you use natural habitat as a creative way. So what do? You take goby fishes. You use bokeh color. You use this kind of technique where it blends the textures together. Can you see that? So these are type of images, simple images that anybody can do, and you can create it inside the water. What else can you do? You have the parasite on the fish. You have using a filter, the vortex filter, and you get this kind of tornado effect on a normal whipped coral shrimp, and they're everywhere. Then you can do portraits as well. Look at that. Beautiful portraits of fishes inside there. And most of these fishes were taken in Tangle Island and Slakan Island as well. So these are the images for creative natural habitats. Now, you can also apply that on wide angle. So how do you do? Wide angle ideas. Very quick one. Ooh, my husband being an astronaut inside the water. Simple. I'm just playing with bubbles. But what did I do? I turn it upside down. Then I have the sea fan. Everybody see the sea fan. But if you see the sea fan properly, it has very nice veins over there. So those veins looks like a piece of lungs. It's a storytelling. You know why? Most oxygens. Actually, 70% of our oxygen actually comes from the sea. So this is a creative, very good image to show. Then you have, I think I won this one last year on a whale shark. I got lucky with this one because I had one green torch and one stroke and one whale shark coming by towards me. And I got to get this creative image where you see the green is actually reflecting on the fish. Now, these are the type of images that will make pop, because we see a lot of whale shark images, but we don't see creative whale shark images. Another one, Mother Nature, just, flip your camera up just like this, and you get this kind of moon effect, like an astronaut coming down. So, imagination creates astounding images. Wow. Now, with that, before I leave, I'm going to show you a small video where you can do creative as well. So enjoy. Just give me 2 minutes. Look at that, so beautiful. Hundreds and thousands of bedfishes where you can find them practically anywhere. And this is taken by the Canon R5. Look how beautiful the blue is. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a Canon ambassador. Of course I'll tell Canon is nice. But these are the type of stuff. Once you actually learn, you get bored, these are the things you want to go for. Okay, before I leave, I would like to take a picture with everybody. Is that okay? Just give me 3 seconds. I'm going to stand here. My photographer from Canon is going to come here and shoot everybody else. Deal? Okay. All right. Now, you see this? I want everybody to raise their right hand. Do a C. Yeah! Ready? You're ready. 1, 2, 3. Got it, John? Thank you. One picture. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right, thanks, John. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming over to my show. So if you need to know more, add me on Instagram or Facebook. Any questions, I'm available for you, okay? So thank you for coming to MIDE2024. Until next year, bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.